Hello, welcome back. We are doing another live stream. This is more Dungeon Master preparation, where we spend our time hanging out, learning as much as we can about how to prepare our games and actually do some preparation. This is what the purpose of these streams are. These classes are designed specifically to be interactive, where you get to participate in some way, and so therefore you will get hopefully the most out of the experience rather than just part of it. So for those of you who have done this particular lesson, the first part of it will be me going over pretty much what I've done before, and then we will of course actually make a monster. Hello Fendar. Fendar is a patron, by the way. I'm putting up a post. I will apologise if I feel like I'm a little bit croaky. I am sort of struggling with the weather. But my question in the poll is around what we did last time we were making monsters. Should we finish building the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man? This is the one from the Ghostbusters movie, the first one. Or should we make a new movie? And I know that'll confuse a few people. What will happen with the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man when it's finished is it will go up onto Patreon, but it will be a free download, that particular document, because it is an IP rather than my property. Therefore, I am not going to put a paywall between it of any kind for that particular one. So if we do it, it will be available for free if you just go to my Patreon. You won't actually have to do anything. So, but we can make a new monster otherwise. But anyway, my suggestion to you is grab some food, some drink, get comfortable. Hello, Overboard. Overboard is also Overboard Miniature Gaming. He's got a great YouTube channel, does miniatures and so forth and dice. And he's also a patron on which I do really appreciate. Okay, so let's get on to the business. I've actually been preparing some slides. My sense of humour will be coming out today. Be warned. It always does, but yeah, be warned. Here we go. Oh dear. Hi, welcome to How to D&D. My name is Fred Weller, and today I want to talk about Dungeons and Dragons. Specifically, we're going to be covering monsters and building monsters. So for those of you who have done this particular lesson before, nothing will be new. The first part of the presentation is pretty much the same. So this is the Dungeon Master Preparation Lesson 3, Building Monsters, that I usually run. And of course, like everything, there is a rationale for why I do it that way. So the overview for today is we're going to cover talking about the monster stat block builders that are available out there that you can use. We're going to talk about inspiration for your monster creation, monster building processes and what they look like, the actual monster story questions you need to address if you want to make a fully fleshed out monster with lore. And then, of course, we're going to talk about using specifically the D&D Beyond monster creator. There are many different monster creators out there. You don't have to use this one. And then, of course, we have some miscellaneous recommendations. And at the end of all of this, we will actually make a monster. That is right. It's not just about, let's talk about it. We're going to do it as well. So I'm going to explain everything with regard to building monsters. We're going to do some demonstration, and you are going to participate, at least in the chat. The only aspect that I won't be able to sort of do is I can't bring you into the live stream if you have a webcam at this time. I'm hoping that'll come up in the future. I know I keep saying this, but I'm going to keep saying it until it actually happens. All right. If you didn't know, D&D Beyond has a homebrew monster builder that you can access for free. You can build your own monsters there, and they are available to the public, provided that you want them to be public, and provided they are different enough to what has already been made in the past. Okay, now that we've covered that, let's talk about inspiration for monster creation. Like, what does that look like? I'm going to say right now, it looks different for everybody, but we're going to start with the basics. I think the best way to start is a brainstorm on a page of paper. Just pick a piece of paper, get a pen, a pencil, write down some words, maybe draw a quick sketch. It doesn't need to be fancy or anything like that, and get an idea of what you're going to do with your monster. Okay, that's sort of old school, and it works quite well. Otherwise, ideas for monster concepts, you can get them from books and movies. You can certainly use Google search, Pinterest, art. That's always a good place. The Art Station, Deviant Art website's always good if you are struggling to come up with ideas and you need somebody to sort of trigger that idea with a piece of artwork. A combination of real-world animals and fantasy monsters has always worked very well, and sometimes you get a good one, sometimes you get a bad one, but it still gives you something different. Right, so those are the different places you can get inspiration, and I know a lot of people also get their inspiration from video games, but usually video games are drawing from pre-existing media, so it's not necessarily going over anything particularly different. You may disagree with me, but I find that to be pretty much the case. Okay, so the monster building process. What does the monster building process actually look like? Well, first off, you come up with your monster concept. That's what I was talking about before. That was the brainstorming idea. Describing the monster's appearance is actually very helpful, or selecting an image or drawing a picture. You can use software like Midjourney, artificial intelligence software that will sort of draw it for you. You type in some text, describe what you want, and it spits out hopefully something that's kind of what you had in mind. Not always working that way. Sometimes you wind up with multiple eyes or things in the wrong place, multiple arms. It is a piece of software, so it can't sort of do what a human can do, where a human would understand how many eyes are supposed to be in and where the arms are supposed to be positioned. Otherwise, I'm going to recommend getting your children. If you have children and they like to draw, and most children do, just describe to them what the monster is and get them to draw the monster for you. I know what you're thinking, but what if I don't have kids, Fred? Well, find somebody and have some kids. That's my suggestion to you. I'm only kidding. But if you have kids, get them to draw the monster for you. Okay. Developing some special abilities for the monster is probably one of the more important aspects, because a monster is only as good as what it looks like and what it can do. And what it can do is really very important. Give the monster a name. I often find that tends to wind up happening very much last rather than first. And you want to try to get a name that sort of matches the monster concept, so that's sort of related in some way. Make up a story for your monster. Give it a history, give it ecology, give it habitat information, give it some lore. Basically, give it some fluff. Build the monster stat block and do all the maths. The mathematics side of it can be quite complicated, and therefore I totally understand if people get frustrated. Chasing the mathematical unicorn on a monster stat block for 5e is a pointless exercise. So I'm going to give you some techniques for getting around that problem if you want, okay? If you're not interested, that's fine, but I've got some solutions for you to solve a lot of that stuff. Okay, we've covered pretty much most of the aspects with regard to the process of building a monster, but there are some questions that we need to ask, and fortunately for me, I do actually have a relationship and chat with AJ Pickett, and AJ was kind enough to help me with this list of questions. The monster's story, what does that look like? Here are some questions you probably want to try and answer. Where does the monster normally live? Okay, and why is the monster currently in the location for this adventure? It might be out of its normal habitat or ecology. The environment that it lives in. Okay, so explaining that might be helpful. What does the monster want, or what does the monster want from the characters? Okay, that might be slightly different. What does the monster? What actually makes that monster unique? Okay, what makes the monster scary? If it's meant to be scary, not all monsters are scary, but if it's supposed to be scary, what makes it scary? And then possibly combine different ideas and abilities to actually make your monster a bit more unique. What does it feed on? How does it survive? What is the monster's territorial range? So how far does it roam from its lair? How does the monster sense creatures or prey in the environment? Like, how does it find sustenance if it eats flesh? What does the monster ignore? There'll be things that monsters, or your monster, doesn't really care about and that just ignores, and other things it does not ignore. How does the monster communicate? How does the monster reproduce? If it does reproduce, sometimes mad scientists and wizards make strange monsters and so forth. It's not going to reproduce. How does it change the environment by living in that specific place? Another very important question. Now that pretty much gives you the range of everything that you need. And of course you can come up with more stuff if you want to, but that really gives you the nuts and bolts of dealing with your monster. Like, let's do the stat block stuff, right? Let's talk about building the stat block and the approach you might want to look at. Well, first off, D&D Beyond does have a monster creator. The stuff you put there is not necessarily going to be yours indefinitely. It is there are some conditions when you sign up to that everything you put up there is essentially free for all for the community, but it also means that Wizards of the Coast can appropriate that. So if you're trying to make publications, you probably don't want to be using it for that purpose. Sign into D&D Beyond, you can and then create that login, and once you've got it, you can access the tab that allows you to do that. You go to the collection tab and then the homebrew monster option. Okay, we can actually construct from scratch, or we can use pre-existing monsters and modify them if you're wanting to save a bit of time. I'm going to suggest, like I have always suggested, consult the Dungeon Master Guide on page 274 for the quick monster stat block table. That really gives you a very good idea. Rather than using a pre-existing monster, use that table to give you an idea of the level of your monster, the challenge rating. Although challenge rating is kind of like a loose cannon. It's a guide and not very useful at higher levels anyway. But I think you'll find the table is far more accurate than just picking any monster out of the monster manual, okay? Because some of them are built in a very strange way. They don't seem to be following exactly the same rules, and so they're not consistent across the board. Select the challenge rating you want for your monster from the quick monster stat block table, and then transfer all of the details for that monster stat block into D&D Beyond. What sort of role that monster will take will determine sort of how you build it. So is it a solo monster? Does it fight alone? Is it a leader? Does it command other monsters? Is it a soldier and in the front line? Is it an artillery monster? So is it in the back line and make a lot of ranged attacks, or does it have that option? Is it a controller? So does it have area effect abilities, spells, and so forth that change things? Or is it a skirmisher? Can it get in and out of combat very quickly, like, say, a goblin does? Build the monster's special abilities and attacks. Do that. The Dungeon Master Guide has a table for monster features on page 280 through to 281. Very useful reference. I always suggest that you use it. Select the appropriate ability scores that you think the monster should have that make sense. Don't get too caught up about their stats being appropriate for their level. Just put them down as what you think they should have that makes sense for the creature. Make the adjustments, the mathematical adjustments for your stat block for the monster, and then check the challenge rating with a tool. I'm going to give you access. Well, actually, I'm not going to give you access. I'm going to tell you that the 5e Tools has a challenge rating calculator on their website. So once you've done everything and you think you got it all right, and you want to know if what the challenge rating or what it's supposed to be, then you can plug in some details into that particular tool, and it will spit out the result, and then you can adjust your challenge rating in the actual stat block to make sure that it's a bit more accurate. And you don't have to try and figure out all the maths behind that, because it does it for you. Now, it's not perfect. I can assure you that there are lots of things that it doesn't take into consideration, but that's probably the simplest way to do the stat block and mathematical side of building any kind of character in your game. I always have miscellaneous recommendations, so let me cover the miscellaneous recommendations. Monsters will always feel very unfinished sometimes, like maybe a little unfinished, but don't let that perfectionist side of you stop you from completing the monster. Like, get it done. It's easy to get fixated on your stat block building and ignore a lot of the other aspects of monster creation, but remember, the lore is just as important. The story for your monster, the story behind it, is just as important as the stat block when it comes to actually getting into a fight. And you might find your monster never actually winds up fighting, so you will need the monster lore. So make sure you do that. Now, avoid judging the value and quality of your monster. It's very easy to allow other people to judge what you make. It doesn't really matter what they think. It's only what you think and whether your players enjoy it. Because it's unlikely that you're going to use this particular monster and sell it in the open market. You're going to probably only use it for your own table. So try to make stuff that you're interested in rather than just making stuff that you think other people will like or agree with, because often the most vocal people are actually the minority, and the people who say nothing are actually the majority. And you are not here to cater to somebody else. You're here to actually cater to your own whims, desires, interests, and what your player characters at your table are interested in. That is my recommendation with regard to building monsters, to keep it as simple and easy for you as possible. And by all means, look, the best ideas are always stolen, borrowed, and modified in some way. Like that just seems to be how things work. Now, I'm hoping this was useful to you. I want to thank all my patrons for supporting this particular class, all the people who've been watching my live streams and watching my videos. It's really welcome. Please, I would like to know how you go about making your own monsters and any sort of struggles you might have. This is an ongoing class. It will come back around again in the future, so don't worry if you were hoping to join in the live event. It will come back. It's not the only one to occur. And no matter where you are in the world, please look after yourself, your family, and your friends. Be nice to your neighbours. And hey, till next time, keep rolling those 20s. Okay, I'm not gone. Let us transition back over to my face for now. I'm going to have a drink of water and a quick breather, because I've been talking like flat tack for almost 20 minutes. I should have taken a break in between. I need to get into the habit when I do these presentations to take a break every 10 minutes and just stop and breathe, because it's very hard for me to, I get dry and so forth. So not a great thing to be doing to myself. Anyway, we've got 12 people here today. Hello, William. How's it going? Want to see the effects when the party sets it on fire. yeah, exactly. So let's have a look at it. I put out a poll, 10 votes, and should we finish the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man or make a new monster? And 60% of you said yes. 30% of you said no. That's fine. The good thing is that the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, if we finish it, will then be complete, and we can then I can put it on Patreon and everybody can share it. It doesn't matter whether you're a patron or not. You'll be able to download it. It won't make it there won't be a pay. It'll be a free for all. And the 10% of you that are what is going on here, as I said, Stay Puft is a marshmallow man from the original Ghostbusters movie. If you are not aware of that particular creature, then you let me know now. Now, the best way to support me so I keep doing this particular type of thing is through Patreon. You can join for as little as a $1 a month, and you get everything that I upload to there. And it's quite a lot, as it happens. I haven't had a chance to upload everything that I need to, but I will at some point. Now, we already built all of the lore behind that Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. We've done all of that. We were in the middle of dealing with the big job of turning the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man into a legendary monster. It looks like that's what we're doing today, which is fine. I'm happy with that. That's a good idea. I also say that super chats and super stickers are most welcome if somebody super chats $5 or more and you have a monster and an image or a concept, we can build the monster for you here today. We probably won't have time to do the entire thing depending on how complicated it is, but we can focus on either the stat block if you just want the stat block, or we can focus on the lore if you want the lore. I know sometimes the lore is not an issue for people, it's the mathematics behind it, and we can do all the maths for you here today if you are interested. If you're not interested, that's fine too. But at this present time, unless I see a $5 super chat requesting a monster be made for a particular person watching, we're going to do the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. We're going to do the Stay Puft Man. What do you got here? Overboard. Does this Stay Puft Marshmallow Man have a lair? Maybe a graham cracker or a chocolate factory? That's up to you. We actually built pretty much everything for it already. And it's in a Google Doc that just needs to be formalized. Hi, Mike Hall. How are you doing, Mike? My favorite quick technique is to take an existing monster and add a few spells as natural abilities. Yep, it certainly, look, reskinning and readjusting existing monsters is definitely a good way to go. What we did last time was we built from scratch. I think in the future, because it's clear to me that it's going to be very difficult to get it done in such a short space of time. You know, to an hour and a half to build a monster and do the lore is really pushing it, particularly from scratch. So we will probably in the future, after the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, I'm going to look at doing a combination of scratch build and using an existing monster. Infectious zombie is a good one. Cool. Before you go about building monsters, see if it's actually necessary for your games. I swapped to the Fire Giant stat block. Okay, Tiefling, Strong Fighter. Didn't even notice. Yeah, now sometimes that's definitely the case. But the purpose here, I think, is to allow people to build their own stuff. So I'm going to tease you a little bit today. Okay? So I'm going to show you a slide. And then I'm going to go and do something that you guys are probably aware of what I'm like sometimes. So I'm going to show you what I was going to propose we make next. This monster is from an adventure that I wrote a long time ago called Godfrey's Evil Hats. Okay? So this is an evil hat spider that crawls, flies, shape changes into a hat from a spider, has stealth, perception, probes the brain, mind control, vulnerable to psychic damage or psychic effects. And so that is a creature that I will probably utilize in the future. But for now, I'm not going to use that one. We are going to stick with finishing off our Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. This fella here. For those of you who are like, oh, what's the deal? We're doing a Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. We kind of established what Stay Puft needed to have. So for those of you who are like, oh, what are we going to get in the future? Well, you know what you're going to get in the future. So I'm going to leave this here just for a second. I actually think I'm going to go straight into capture. And we'll actually set up this. I'm going to set up the screen. So I'll go back to my face for now. We'll come back and we're going to start working on Stay Puft. Okay? Yes. Well, it's supposed to look nasty, Fender. So the evil hat spider will wind up, we'll build it in the future. It'll wind up being on Patreon. I am not sure if I'm allowed to use the artwork at this present time because I haven't actually paid for the artwork. I'm just showing you. Okay? There is more artwork on that hat spider, the evil hat spider, but it's far more terrifying than that. And I think I'll leave that off your screen for now. All right. So let's have a quick look here. Before you go about it all done, I've done that. Oh, well. Now, let me just make sure I have D&D Beyond up. I've got D&D Beyond up. I'll make sure that I pull up the appropriate data for what we had done last time with Stay Puft. And then we'll get to work finishing off. No, that's not what I was looking for. Oh, there we go. There he is. It's almost a page of lore. I'd forgotten how much I'd written down. Although we included the questions as well, so it's probably not as much as you might think. Okay, all right. And then I should be able to, pull up this. I'm going to have a look right now to make sure it's in my collections. I'm hoping it is. It'll be a pain if it's not. I believe it's there. Okay, so we can go back. All right. Okay, good. So now that I've established that, let's just make sure I'm in the right place. I want you to start putting on your thinking hats, people, because we are definitely going to be working on Mr. Stay Puft. But I need to just quickly grab my phone because I didn't grab my phone and I should have. Whoops, I just knocked over something. I need a lozenge, otherwise I won't survive. Okay. Right. Let me just see if we can go... right, so, it's Mr. Stay Puft. Mr. Stay Puft, I love you. Let me see what I can do. Mr. Stay Puft, Mr. Stay Puft. There we go. Please remind me, people, to take a break in about half an hour so I don't wind up doing the jolly dance, which happens to me more than a few times. Where I wind up just keep going and forget that I need to actually go use the toilet. Which just sounds terrible, I know, but it's a real biological need, right? Okay, I believe... I think I have in front of me what I need to give me an idea of what's going on. Let's just make sure I have pulled that up. So you'll notice that I'm on D&D Beyond right now. Okay, I've got an account. I'm logged in. I am just trying to catch up with my live stream, which is apparently hard to find. How is that possible? I don't know. And we have action. Okay. All right. Okay, so you can see everything. Now I can see if I'm blocking anything at any point, people. If I block anything with my camera, okay, looking at my face, I want you to let me know so I can change it and move things out of the way. All right, let's go into here. Under collections, you'll see that there's the option to homebrew everything under the sun. Spells, monsters, magic items, backgrounds, feats, phrases, da-da-da. It goes on and on. We're not doing that. We're going into the collection that I've already started because we've already started this monster. We've been working quite hard on it. Down the bottom here, we are right here. There it is. Pull it up. So right now we don't have an awful lot going on. Don't worry about the picture. Okay, forget about that. You'll notice that everything is not sort of well and truly established at this point. We've still got some things we have to fill in and some numbers that need to be sorted out. So it looks good. You can see things correctly. Good. Okay. All right. So I haven't blocked anything. So we have to go in here and actually do something with it. So we're going to go into edit. I don't care about that. Just go away. Just give me this required information. This is version. We've actually done 2 versions so far. So this is version 3. And hopefully this will be the final version. So we established everything, I believe, last time. We even figured out what the challenge rating was based off the numbers. It's just now about punching in the information for it. And then pumping in all the different things that it's supposed to do, such as siege monster and so forth, all the information around that. So let's finish off doing the multi-tack for this thing. You can make 3 slam, stomp, grab, throw building pieces. Okay, so makes 3. Okay, I think we have that sorted out. The problem with doing multi-attack is you need to make sure we don't say that we're doing 3 slam. So you need to make 3 of any actions listed, attacks listed. Okay, so we can do any of those. So we don't want them to wind up with too many attacks going on. How's it going, William? Needs green slime power. Turns victims, especially swallowed, into itself. We'll see how the swallowed thing goes. We'll work through that. Okay. Stomp. I think we had the stomp mostly sorted out. The problem with the stomp is the dice that we add, because we're dealing with anywhere from 100 points of damage to 103 points of damage. And so what dice are we going to use to make that work? Well, it's going to be impractical to be rolling 6-sided dice. And then our strength modifier for this is going to be quite high. So I think what we'll do, since we're dealing with strength here, we'll just look down at our strength, which we put all the details for that in last time. Our strength score is a 25. Do I remember what a 25 is in terms of modifier? I don't know if I do. Did I do it? So it's a 20, it's a 5, 6, 7. It'll be a +7, wouldn't it? So +7 from the strength. So stomp should have a +7 here. We'll do that. Same with the slam and the grab. 7. Now I'm going to use D12s. I think we'll do D12s. It's a big enough creature we can get away with a D12. And so we've got that. We've got the bite. We need to make sure we hit the +7 here as well. This is what we're adding to our attack. No, don't disappear. Thank you for the suggestion though, John Fraser. 10s would be an option, but I just don't want to use too many 10s. It'd be. Here's the problem: do I want to use 10s or do I want to use 12s? I know what you're doing here is by doing 10s, we only need to roll 10. Well, actually, it's not even going to be that. It would be so many dice. Do you know what? I think we'll do something stupid. Let's just go absolutely bat crazy and use a D20 for our damage roll. I know we don't normally do that. And I know if you're looking at official monsters, they just don't do that sort of thing. But we're going to use a D20 as our damage dice. Okay? That means we don't have to roll so many dice to get the average to work out. 20, 20. If you were worried about this, trust me, I've done this before. 20s will work out fine. Because we're not really going to use the D20s anyway. We're going to use average damage. And then the average, if we take 5 D20s, that would only give us an average of 50. So we actually need to have 10 D20s rolled to actually get 100 hit points coming out, roughly. And then the +7 sort of pumps us up a little bit higher. So we can actually probably trim off maybe 1 and go 9. Is it 9 D20? I think roughly we'd go 9 D20. That's close enough. That sort of gives us an average output that would be close to 10. I'm still thinking about that now. There's a certain desirable the idea of rolling 10 20-sided dice for damage is still incredibly appealing. And we're not actually out of our power range by bumping up the average more than 100. What do you got there, Mike? When the light is green, the trap is clean. Exactly. Ghostbusters is a great movie. It is. Percentile dice is a damage dice. A cow. You threw a cow at your character? So let's do that. We're going to do it. It's not a big problem. Let's go 10, which means we're going to go through. I'm going to change all of them to 10. Grab, slam, bite. Well, stomp, yes. No, we won't do that with the slam or the grab. We're going to go with a 9, slightly less. And then roughly with the bite, I feel like a bite's not a good thing. We've already got the swallow thing to deal with as well. Like that'll be horrific to contend with. Let's make that a little bit less, maybe, because we've actually got them going into the stomach and taking damage. We can actually make that probably 5. So we're looking probably at about, what is it, 57 hit points on average damage. I think that'll be about 57. And then we've got to deal with the swallow effect. You let me know if you think I got my numbers wrong, but I'm pretty sure. If we take 5 times 20, that'll come to 100. Divide that in half, that's about our average, roughly. And then add 7, that's 57. Yeah. You know, maybe 12s, but have a higher stat damage, perhaps with a passive, so that the damage is not so variable. Well, that doesn't actually matter. It's actually, that's why we have the average damage fender. This is why, even though you see this the number outside the brackets, I would roll this, and in my game I would add a plus, add a d6. So there's slight variation, but not much. And that's sort of how I control things at my end. So let's see. I think that's actually going to work fine. So 9 times 20 is 180, and then add 7. 180, so divide 180 in half is 90. 97. So our slam does 97 on average, which is close enough to what our number needed to be. Okay. But yeah, I was very tempted to use D12s, but yeah, we'll just keep the 10s because we'll keep the 20s just because it just makes it easier. The variation is unimportant. As I said, you wouldn't use the dice rolling. No dungeon master in their right mind picks up 10d20 and rolls all of those. Not unless it's a critical hit. How long until it's suffocating? Well, we're going to use the purple worm to deal with that problem. Okay, so that there is actually going to wind up being 107 because 10 times 20 is 100. Divide by 200, divide that in half is 100, and then add the 7, comes to 107 hit points. So Stomp is going to be probably the most deadly out of all of the attacks. Throwing a piece of building has actually not got a particularly great, attack modifier, so it's not that accurate, but throwing a piece of building should be bad, right? How's it going, Spirit Wolf? So let's see, we're throwing something. We're going to be using the strength modifier, not dex. And that's the +7 because it's a 25 strength, correct? Yeah, it would certainly. And that the only reason I've got the dice there is just so you can pick them up and say, look at this. But actually just use the average damage. Okay. Psychological torture is being involved here. All right, so building pieces. We're going to use, as I said, the D20. This is a big monster. Now, a building piece, I actually want it to do quite a lot of damage. Do I want it to be an 8? Do I want it to be a 9? I feel like a piece of building is probably pretty bad. Maybe I should make that a little bit more. Or maybe I should just make it a 10. The problem is there needs to be something that's different with each one. Otherwise, you're inclined to just use the same one over and over again. The only reason you might not use something is because it's in the wrong position, right? You grab or you slam if your hands of the Stay Puft are available, and you use your feet if they're on the ground on the ground and you can stand on them. Whereas slap and grab might not work. Depending on the situation. But they're close enough in terms of the maths. Or are they? Have a think about that. You need to let me know if you think that one of these abilities is just so good you would go for it more often. Throwing a piece of building is ranged attack. It's going to probably do, if I make it do less damage than the rest, it's going to be the go-to for. Is it going to be the go-to? Well, it's actually means that it's, I think Stay Puft probably should be not as good at range as up close. So let's do that. Let's make him a little less than that. What's the numbers that I've given out so far? I've used a 5. The bite, don't worry about the bite because he's going to be swallowed and there'll be some digestion process going on here. So don't worry about that one. Well, let's make it a little bit less. We can make it significantly less. Let's go with 4. When you throw a building, what sort of damage are we looking at? That's the problem. Rolling 12d8, what a waste of time. So many dice. You'd have to have so many dice. But it's 80. Okay, so we'll go with 8. 8. I think 8 is all right. 8 is fine. Or maybe should I go 7? Oh, the choices. Stomp and kick over slap. Yeah, stomp and kick over slap. Yeah, probably. I mean, I can switch them out, and you know, but if you can slap or grab is a bad thing, you know, because we're going to tie in you are now restrained as well. Okay. All right, I'm having a hard time deciding on this number here. So I'm just going to put down 5, D8, which will be 57. You'll let me know if you dislike that. But damage output on average for throwing something is going to be what, about 57, which is it's not bad for a creature of that that caliber. Maybe it needs to go a little bit higher. In any given round, it can probably do 3 of those, but we have 300 hit points is where we're wanting to aim at, so we still need to be able to pump out enough damage. Okay, all right. Okay, let's just keep it simple. We're just going to throw stuff. It's going to be 107. We're going to mark it as 107 for now. We're going to put 10 here. It's harder to hit with ranged attack anyway. Stomp and slam. You've made your point. I will make that a 10 for now. And no stomp. So no, I'll leave it where it is because we're going to put a grapple section into this. But okay, right. So did I cover all of the aspects of that little sucker? I think I did. So we can probably get rid of this bit here. I'm going to leave it there for now. Just don't let me forget it. Okay, so we've got our damage output. We need to deal with some of the other aspects. I cannot remember for the life of me which is a siege monster. The Tarrasque is a siege monster, isn't it? So we can use the Tarrasque as a guide for building out the siege aspect. And then we use the ooze feature. I can just transfer that in. So sorry if I seem like I'm a little bit confused as to what I'm not having to nut things out. It's not like I put this all together in advance. I have made the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man before, but it was a while ago, and I'm going for a slightly different approach this time. Okay, Tarrasque. Okay, siege monster. Okay, here we go. Let's get the siege monster section sorted, because it is actually written here for me to transfer over. It's there. There. Whoops. Just unbold that. The Marshmallow Man. What does he do? The Marshmallow Man deals double damage. Double damage to objects and structures. And structures, so I get that right. Get rid of the building section. Okay, we've got that little bit done. All right, so now the ooze. Let's deal with that aspect. I'm going to go with oozes on page 242. So if I go there, we can probably fill in the swallowed section, right? Because the swallowed, there's actually a fearful presence for the Tarrasque here that I could use. Maybe I can pluck and drop it directly in from D&D Beyond. That might be a smarter and faster way, rather than having to type everything out. Because really what I want to do is I just wanted to duplicate the concept of that, rather than have to type everything out. So let's do a little bit of... we'll come back to that. I'm going to just write down a note here. Frightful. frightful. So I'm taking from the Trask. Presents. Because we can hopefully do that later. And we were unbold. And it is the Trask. Which I will write in, don't worry. And it's page 286 of the Monster Manual. We'll come back to that note. We've got the ooze sorted out. Don't worry about that. That's finalized. Random reactions, don't worry about that bit. Entering this, no. Okay. Legendary actions. Something that I probably needed to sort of sort out was some of the legendary actions. I've given them a whole lot of things they can do. Okay, so the swallow needs to actually be separate. Do I make that an action as well? I think I'm going to have to separate the swallow. If I do that, that actually changes everything. It changes a lot. Okay, right, it's a good thing I didn't get rid of this thing. So that means that the bite is there. It doesn't do as much damage. We're going to add in a swallow, which will be this, and it will be separated. Which means that the bite won't necessarily do as much damage, but the benefit is what? The benefit is what? What is the benefit? I'm still trying to figure that one out. Let's go copy. Anyway. Okay. Okay, so actually I don't need to do that. I can just type in swallowed. Swallow. Whoops. Full stop. And then it's the Trask. Because we'll use it to just port it straight over. Trask. Page. Trask page 286. 286 of Monster Manual. Right, so there's a couple of quick ports overs that we can do, which is good. A creature bitten by the Marshmallow Man. Man can be swallowed. Yeah. No. Come on. Give me that. Cool. All right. So we've got that bit there. So we keep that that wording the same. And then, yeah, so this is the part that I want to sort of make sure I got right. The Marshmallow Man can take a legendary action at the end of every player's turn. These are the actions they can take: throw a building, stomp, slam, grab, bite, da-da-da. Okay. And then let's see if we can port these things over fairly quickly and easily. I can do it with the ooze first. I could probably get the ooze without too much trouble. I just want to make sure there's any other things that I'm going to have to. So I'm actually just dealing with the basics. All the other stuff we actually did last time, didn't we? So that's good. That's good news. All right. Let's open up a new page, see if I can get D&D Beyond to let me port some stuff over. So I want monsters. And now I'm going to type in ooze, I guess. Gelatinous cube ooze. Engulf. God, that's way too complicated. It's so complicated. So that is going to be a problem. I can't see anybody wanting to use that level of complexity in a monster. While doing so, well, so I've got to change the damage out, and I've got to change a couple of other things, but I guess we'll just take that and see if we can copy it out of there. Copy. Take this over here. We'll soon find out if this works or not. The fender, thank you. That's actually probably better because that is right. The giant toad's got a much simpler swallow feature. You're brilliant, mate. That's a smart move. Okay, giant toad, swallow. Oh, yeah. This is one of the things I dislike is like having to give something. I should have gone with the swallowed. We'll do that. I'll come back to the gelatinous cube and the engulf thing, but I'll grab that for now because you're right. That'll actually change everything with regard to swallowed, and I'll come back to engulf after. Yeah. Hi Dallas, how's it going? Right, so let's put this in here. Paste. The Tarrasque. It is not a Tarrasque or a toad, so let's just get rid of this. Marshmallow. Man. Right, let me read through this, make sure I got this all correct. The Marshmallow Man makes one bite attack against a medium or small... No, it's going to have to be a bigger range than that. It's colossal in size. It's gargantuan. So it can swallow things that are quite a bit... Is its mouth? No, it can swallow a large thing as well. I feel like it should be able to swallow large things. Large, medium, or small target. It is grappled. It is grappling. Okay. It's grappling. So this is... Okay. That is going to cause us some problems. If the attack hits, the target is swallowed and the grapple ends. The swallowed target is blind and restrained. It has a total cover against... No, that's not going to work. I don't see that's going to work. Primarily because it's connecting to the bite, which is the tongue. I still think the swallowed might have been better with the... what do you call it? The purple worm. The purple worm might have been a better idea. Gelatinous cube. We're going to just cut and paste that whole section in there, and I'll go back to work on that. See if we can tidy this up a little bit. At least we'll start getting some stuff down. Special trait sticky. Melee weapons have a chance to stick to each other. Maybe. Yeah, you're talking about the mimic. I don't know that it necessarily applies very well to this one, so yeah, we'll leave that for now. Let's try to get this done in the time we have so it's available for people. So the mimic. The Marshmallow Man. Moves up to its speed. While doing so, it can enter large or small creatures' space. Yes. Whenever the Marshmallow Man. Okay. So we're getting there. Okay, whenever the Marshmallow Man enters a... Now, do I need to expand and make this a bit closer? I don't know. If you guys can see what I'm doing, that's great. If I can't, you let me know. It's break time, Fred. Oh, okay. All right. Thank you. All right. So let me finish this one little bit here, because if I don't finish it, I'll be screwed. Okay, for sure, because I will forget where I'm up to. So I'll finish the engulf, and then I will go on my break. Right. DC saving throws 23. It should be a 23 for this little sucker. So 23 DC. Okay. When it enters a creature's space, the creature must make a DC 23 dexterity saving throw. On a successful save, the creature can choose to be pushed 5 feet back to the side of the Marshmallow Man. As soon as I finish this, I go and take my break. Don't you worry. Thank you. Thank you so much for looking after me. Marshmallow Man. A creature that chooses not to be pushed shifts the consequences of a failed save. Suffers the consequences of a failed save. Good, we got that. On a failed save, the Marshmallow Man. I'm going to apologise right now. I think I have made a very complicated monster. The Marshmallow Man enters the creature's space, and the creature takes... now that's not enough. We need to change that up. Remember, now moving into somebody else's space is not necessarily an attack as such. So actually, we might actually be fine to do this. And acid damage... Do I want it to make... Yeah, do I suppose? Or do I want it to do acid damage? Is it breaking you down? Actually, we might even just leave that as is. Acid damage and is engulfed. The engulfed target can't breathe, is restrained, and takes 21 or 66 acid damage at the start of each of the term cubes Marshmallow Man's turn. Man's turns. When the cube moves, the engulfed creature moves with it. Okay, so when the Marshmallow Man... Man moves, the engulfed creature moves with it. Okay, we've got that. An engulfed creature can try to escape by taking the action to make a DC. It's not going to be that. We remember DC's for... We actually started with a CR rating of 30. It dropped down to 23 for other reasons, but that's a 23 strength check. On a success, the creature escapes and enters a space of its choice within 5 feet of the Marshmallow Man. Okay. Okay, of the Marshmallow Man. Okay, so we've actually got the engulfs done. We've done the siege thing. We've still got to do Frightful Presence, which we will just port over. And I still need to finish off the swallow feature. But it's time to take a break, as Fender has pointed out. Sweets, rations, potions of marshmallow. Yeah, loot. Yeah, you can do that. Seems like a fun idea. Right, let's... I need to make a note on my hand not to forget swallow. Because swallow is the next one I need to contend with. I think with swallow it's going to have to be the purple worm swallow. I just don't know that this swallow is going to work for what we want to do. I'm fine to leave that stuff that's there because it's not actually an attack as such. It's just... And it's doing very minimal sort of anything. It's more of a hindrance, if anything else. Okay, so let's find my screen. Bam! There it is. I'll be back. I'm going to go and you will see me very shortly. 5 minutes. frankly, I would avoid monster reactions myself, the Dallas. Monster reactions really, yeah, I'm going to try to avoid that sort of thing. I'm still not happy with how the bite and the swallow works, but I'll fix it. We'll sort it out. I still think the purple worm's probably the solution to sorting that out, so we'll do that now. So I am coming back into things. So now that I've got that number sorted out, let's see if I can pull up the Tarrasque. I don't think it'll let me access it this way. But we'll give it a go. We'll see how it works. So I'll type in Tarrasque. See if I can port that over. Basic rules? Really? You've got to be kidding me. The Tarrasque is considered basic rules. You don't even have to pay for the Tarrasque. You can just grab it. Well, fine. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'll take that. That was easy. We'll just take this, and we'll just take that and put that straight into our Marshmallow Man, because that solves a lot of problems. There we go. For those of you who are unfamiliar or unsure, you can access the Tarrasque with not a lot of problems at all. And we'll go to there. Each creature of the Marshmallow Mans. Come on. Man's choice within 120 feet of it and aware of it must succeed on a DC. No, the DC's check's not going to be high enough. I find DC checks at the level that you're playing, they need to be in the 20s, so just don't work otherwise. Otherwise the players are always saving. Or become frightened for 1 minute. Good. A creature can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of its turns with a disadvantage if the Tarrasque, okay, let's get rid of the word. If the Marshmallow Man is within line of sight, ending the effect on itself on a success. If a creature's saving throw is successful or the effect ends for it, the creature is immune to the... Yes, there we go. That's what we want. Marshmallow Man's frightful presence for the next 24 hours. So, Siege Monster. Engulf is there. And that's just to make it a little bit stranger. I think we have that. I think that's more than enough. And I think of anything else that we needed to put in there? No. I'm going to get rid of anything. I'm not going to try to do any more with that. Otherwise, it's going to just make it unwieldy. And we don't want to do that. Okay. Right, now, I believe the Tarrasque actually has a swallow itself. And let's just have a look at how that looks, because it may actually solve a lot of our problems. Okay, so here's what we probably want to do, is we probably want to port over the bite for the Tarrasque, because it has the mechanics for the swallow tied into it, and that will actually alleviate almost all of our problems. And then we just change some names, and that's it. So that's what we'll do, just to make life a little bit easier for ourselves. Let's get rid of that. The swallowed makes one bite. Okay, let's do that. No, don't do that. Oh, go back. Okay, here we go. Makes one bite attack. And then we just have to cut all this. the damage is fine. It's actually in line with what we were aiming for in the first place. So that's actually not going to be a problem. So we can port over all of that. Big clue. How's it going? Tarrasque bite +1. No. It's, so we're going to go copy. Okay. So we are going to put this here and deal with swallowed. Okay, the Marshmallow Man makes 1 bite attack against a large or smaller creature it is grappling. If the attack hits, the target takes the bite's damage, and the target is swallowed and the grapple ends. While swallowed, the creature is blind and restrained, has total cover against attacks and other effects outside of the Tarrasque. Let's get rid of that word. Outside of the Marshmallow Man, and takes 556 or 16d6 acid damage. It's a lot of dice to roll, but you just use the average. Actually, that's kind of in line with what we were trying to do with the bite, because the bite was only supposed to do 57, and it's pretty close to the 100 we were looking for. It's not exact, but we can actually trim that down a little bit. How can we do that? We can do that by taking... We'll take a few off. Yep, so we're going to take just a smidgen off there. So each D6 is representative of 3 points. I want to drop it down by another 12 hit points. So that's 4 dice. So that'll be 12. 12. Instead of 16, it's 12, isn't it? Instead of 16, it is 12. So that should come out roughly at a 44? Yeah, 44. Take off the 6, take off another 6, it's 44. So that's sort of in line with us trying to do what we're doing over here. That's close enough. Acid damage at the start of each of the Tarrasque's turn. Marshmallow Man's. What's that big clue? Man needs a grapple move where he hugs his opponent in a tight embrace. He's got a grab. He doesn't need that. A marshmallow breath weapon. No marshmallow breath weapon. They're not going to regenerate. No, it's horrible enough. You guys can make alterations to it if you want. This is crazy enough as a creature as it is. The terrifying thing is that when your players face it, they're really not going to find it that hard to deal with. They'll probably be fine. Okay. If the Marshmallow Man takes 60 damage or more on a single turn from a creature inside it, here we go. This is what well, let's keep this. What you got here, Spirit Wolf? Gooey, sticky, runny marshmallows. Yes, exactly. Goop. Sure, why not? Okay. Marshmallow must succeed. Okay. If the creature inside it, the Marshmallow Man must succeed on a DC. Well, I think it needs to be quite high. We're going to set that high. We're going to make it 23 as well. Constitution save throw at the end of the turn or regurgitate all swallowed creatures. Good. Which fall prone in a space within 10 feet of the Marshmallow Man. Marshmallow Man. A lot of rewriting here, but oh well, we're getting there. The dies. The swallowed creature is no longer restrained by it and can escape from the corpse by using 30 feet of movement, exiting prone. Okay, so we just need to do this. What was I thinking? I don't know. I don't know. All right, so here we go. You know, the terrifying thing is this: once I put this up onto Patreon, and if people go there, they'll probably use it. I mean, how many people play at level 20 anyway? Dies a swallowed creature, no longer restrained, and blah, blah, blah. Okay, so we've actually nailed that down quite nicely. Bludgeoning. I believe it is bludgeoning, something like that. Piercing, bludgeoning. Yeah. Let's put in bludgeoning. It's bludgeoning there. Target, hit, damage, that's all good. We don't need to worry about this thing because I'm going to take that out in a second. Now they've got the swallowed sorted out. I need to highlight this, make that bold. Where is it? Bold. The bite is a problem, but we can use the bite mechanics from the Tarrasque. Since we can access the Tarrasque, we can use the bite mechanics there. Because it's got a nice little piece that adds on from what was there before. Just let me check to make sure all of my other stuff is correct. Okay, I think that is going to work fine. So I need to capture, and that's the piece that I want. Yep, it is. Copy. And then over here, and then we'll drop it into this section. How much goes with a Misty Step or Teleporter? Well, I would allow it. If they can get out with that, go for it. I think that seems reasonable to me. But you know, I'm not the dungeon master for the game you're running, so it's up to you. I'm certainly not going to write into the rules that you can't do that. If you were thinking that's what I was thinking of doing, that because that wasn't at all. Let's get real. Making a Stay Puft Marshmallow Man is an endeavour of silliness and stupidity on my side, but just plain fun. Okay, so so that's why I'm doing it, and also it demonstrates the process, right? Piercing damage. Okay, if the target is a creature, it is grappled. Escape DC 23. Remember, 23 is what we were aiming for because we started with the 30 as our challenge rating, so we stay with that, don't change it. Until this grapple ends, the target is restrained and they can't bite another. Yes, there we go. So we can't actually eat more than one person at a time. Man can't bite another target. Okay. Not unless they wind up swallowing it. If they swallow, okay, all right. Might be different. So we don't want to do too much damage with that, but we're doing some damage with the acid in here, and we've got that aspect of it sorted. I think that got the bite finished off. Did it? It might well have. So that just means we need to tidy up the grab. We've got a slam and a grab, and I need to fix the grab. If you do the grab as an option, we need to make sure we have that locked down so that it's going to be all right. Okay. You've got to go now. No problems, Fender. Thank you for showing up. Your help has been you very helpful. And hopefully you'll find the documentation up on Patreon in the next few days once I get a chance after I've done all these live streaming. There's been a lot going on recently. Okay, so a grapple, a slam and a grab is going to do bludgeoning damage, so we need to bludgeoning here. Bludgeoning. If we are stomping, that's going to be bludgeoning. Okay, we've got our multi-attack. Okay, so we can go slam, stomp, grab, throw building piece. Did I say bite? Did I miss bite? Slam, stomp, grab, bite. Bite. You need to be able to bite as well. Bite. Missed one. There we go. All right, so bite. So multi-attack has got all the different things we need. Just let's see, make sure I've got all the aspects of that sorted. I think I have. It's looking good. The bite is tidied up. We've got the swallow connected to that. We've got throw a building. Throwing the building is actually fine. It'll be right. We'll take out this. We don't need any more actions. There's enough going on with this creature as it is. This is a complicated beastie, but then again, it's going to be for high-end play, if anybody ever uses it. So, the grab aspect of this. So we want it to be, it does slightly less damage than a bite and swallow will potentially do, and it does slightly less damage than a stomp, or the building being thrown if you throw a building. So there has to be a benefit to doing this. So this is where I want to actually tie in you can grab multiple characters, grab or slam, squish, eat some, maybe grab another one, but they're going to have to be grappled in some way. So that's actually what we're looking for now. So that is an interesting possibility. What are we going to do here? Tail, slam, da-da-da-da. Is there an existing monster that I can think of? Does anybody remember a monster that makes an attack and then it automatically turns into a grapple that would be suitable to transpose into this little sucker? Because that would actually solve a lot of problems. Not really. I found that look at high level, they're pumping out more than 100 hit points at a time. Byron Lee. If you've ever played with paladins and rogues, it's crazy, and then they have extra attack, and so they're making 4 or 5 attacks. Not maybe the rogue, but there's the high hit points. It's not actually. I mean, something like the Tarrasque has got 670 something hit points, right? And then this thing here, what did I give it? I gave it 850. And yet a Tarrasque in Dungeons & Dragons 5e is actually very easy for people to dispose of. And you'll find that this will probably run into the same sort of hiccup. It would be possible to shut it down pretty quickly. So, need to consider a grab option. I'm going to just save these changes and just see what we've got here so far. Okay, you must have created now. I don't view your monster. That would be good. Okay, so we're not worrying about alignments. Giant construct. We've got that there. We've got that sorted out. And then working our way down here, we've got our Constitution saving throw. Fire vulnerability and lightning vulnerability. We've got damage immunity to bludgeoning and force. So they're going to have to use something else. Nothing. We're not going to talk about magic weapons. Condition immunities, frightened and poisoned, won't work. Passive perception is where it is. We could give it a language. Do we want to give it common? I feel like he's a common kind of sailor coming into town. The proficiency bonus is listed there. Then we have our siege monster, which is correct. We've got our engulf ability, which looks like it's all correct, unless I've made a mistake. The frightened section is all fine. Then we have the actions, multi-attack. Okay, to make 3 of any attacks listed. Stomp, slam, grab, bite, throw building pieces. Okay. And then we've got that, looks good. Stomp looks fine. Slam looks alright. Bite, does the bite look right? The bite looks fine. The swallow looks alright. And it just leads into the bite section, which is good. Throw building piece. We have bludgeoning there. That looks good. Bonus actions. We need to get rid of bonus actions and reactions. We do not want any of those. So we'll have to ditch them. We have our mythic actions. We haven't got mythic actions here. We get rid of mythic actions and we keep the legendary action. So, homework. Bonus action, reactions, and mythic actions I have to remove. Correct? All right. So, edit. Just wait for that fire back up. Okay, your monster has been created. Okay, that's fine. All right, so let's open it up. This is version 4. And a couple of things to remove. Reactions, no reactions. We get rid of reactions completely. Bonus actions, no, we don't want that. Get rid of that as well. We want to go down here to, where is it? Mythic actions. It's listing mythic actions, and yet I don't want mythic actions. Why is it doing it? Is mythic? No. So why is it giving me mythic actions? I don't want lair actions. We're not going to give it a lair. This guy's on the move. And we've got our legendary. So that should give us what we need. And I just need to sort out the grab. And I'm going to apologise now. I haven't been able to think of a monster that has a grab that leads into, or has an attack that leads into a grab. Unfortunately, I don't know why I'm struggling with that idea, but we don't have it with that. There's bound to be a large creature that does something like that that would allow us to, because what we want to do with the grab is we want to do damage, but we also want to, if they choose to not slam and they grab, then we can grapple. And that would make that a bit more desirable as an option. And if it doesn't succeed the grab, we still have the slam damage. And that's what we're aiming for. So, Kraken. Kraken, you reckon Spirit Wolf? Okay, Kraken, question mark. Let's try Kraken. It might well have exactly what you're talking about. Kraken. And we're cracking on, because it's got that tentacle thing going on, doesn't it? So it does have an attack with a tentacle, and then you move on to, okay, so let's have a look at what we've got here. It's going to be under the tentacles for sure, right? Here we go. I think you got a winner there, mate. Demigorgon has a grab. Okay, Kraken. I'm like, okay, let's read the tentacle thing. Umbok has anything? Total guess. We'll see. I don't know about that, the Dallas. Let's read out the tentacle attack. So it's so we got the number thing. It does damage, and then it says after it does bludgeoning damage of 20, which is like really pathetic. This monster is a 23 challenge rating creature, and its tentacle does like almost nothing. How many tentacle attacks does it make? It makes 3 tentacle attacks. It's this thing should be doing like 100 points of damage. Okay, so this, at least, you need to be pumping out a heck of a lot. You're away from your books, it's all right. So I'm reading this out now. And the target is grappled. After the damage, so bludgeoning damage, and the target is grappled. Escape DC is 18, not good enough. Until this grapple ends, the target is restrained. That's what we wanted. The Kraken has 10 tentacles, each of which can grab one target. So our Marshmallow Man has 2 arms. It can only grapple 2 targets at a time. That's actually perfect. But can we actually pull up the Kraken on D&D Beyond and copy and paste? Because I haven't actually paid for a lot of this stuff. I didn't pay for the monster manual, and I don't get it for free. I know some YouTubers get all of the D&D Beyond stuff for free, and they don't have to worry about that sort of thing. But that actually might be perfect if we can actually Shit. What do you know? Basic rules, Kraken, available. Well, we can use it. Let's copy and paste this section here, rewrite it for our Marshmallow Man. That was easy. I feel like I'm all. What am I doing? I'm standing here and teaching about what is it? Cut and paste. Cut and paste. That seems to be a lot of cut and pasting going on. Let's do this. Let's plonk this in. And target is grappled. No, escaping has got to be higher than that. This thing, otherwise it changes the whole math around the challenge rating, because we've dropped the armor class on this thing by a heap. Until this grapple ends, the target is restrained. Now we need to turn this here, the Marshmallow Man. Right, the Marshmallow Man has 2 hands. That's right. Two hands. Each of which can grapple 1 target. So that means we can now grapple 2 characters at a time and squish them. Okay, which is great. That's what we were after. Have we got our damage output is a little bit lower than doing the stomp, which we had discussed before would be the go-to because it does so much damage. And also throwing a building piece would be also quite fun because it does a lot of damage too, but it's harder to hit. So you probably want to be getting up close if you want to, but that gives you a bit more benefit. Okay, that's actually not bad. I think that might have sorted that bit out. Let's have a look here. Yeah, not bad. I think that's cut all that. We've got our basics around the bite. We've got our target. We've got this. It takes what? 14. Yes, we discussed the. Yeah, I did the math on that and changed that down to make sure it wasn't too much. And we should be doing per round with this creature on its turn around about 600 hit points on average. But it will do on average about 100 hit points every time it takes a legendary action. So that means the battle's going to probably last between, what is it? Depending on how many characters you have, probably between 1.5 to 3 rounds. I know that seems like what am I doing here, but I based on my experience running high-level games, I would say with high-level characters about level 20, they're probably going to last this long. This is probably what you would want for your challenge at a 23 is going to be, yeah, I think that's actually not too bad. So let's have a look at where we sit. Challenge rating should be right. I haven't really put in anything that's super strange. Let's add in a language. Add a language. Okay, cancel. We've got to save the changes. Forgot about that. Don't make that mistake. You put all this stuff in there and then you don't save. Cancel. Save it. What's going on here? Okay. Please do not tell me that it isn't going to save, because that would just suck. No, I don't think you want to add too much complexity to throwing with your creature, because that's just going to make it really painful by doing that sort of thing. This monster as it is a really complicated monster to run. View the homebrew monster. Let's see what the stat block now looks like. No, that's not what I want. Where's the collection? I've made monsters before, and it's very easy to over talk the complexity on things. I mean, this is a complicated monster as it is. Okay, legendary actions to get. Mythic actions are still showing up. I don't want that. I've got that fixed. That's all fixed. We haven't been able to put a language in yet. We've got our grab, slam, target. What's going on here? piercing damage. Well, okay. The brackets aren't coming out. Why aren't the brackets coming out? Because I'm going to have to take brackets. I'm going to have to go back in and take all the brackets out, which is just a painful for the bludgeoning. Oh, okay. That was just... Okay, so let's see. I need to deal with what's going on with this bit. I've got this. That's all good. Okay, so brackets around the type of damage. I need to take that out. And then I also need to take out this mythic nonsense here because that's not what I want. So edit again. Aquatic. What were you thinking, Spirit Wolf, in terms of aquatic? Oh, I see. In terms of a language. Oh. He's a sailor. That's pretty funny, dude. Wow. Well, what can I say? Let's go here. Equine, is that what it is? Is it equine? Is that the correct language? I think it is. You let me know if it is the wrong one or the right one. I think it's equine. We'll give them common. Save. And equine, he's a sailor. He is a sailor. Equine. Sure. We can do equine. You'll let me know if equine is inappropriate for our Marshmallow Man who's a sailor. Equine. I'm pretty sure it's equine that is the water one. Okay. All right. So we've got that. I think we got all our senses sorted out. We've got one there. Skill. I didn't give him very much in the way of skills. It sounds right. Okay. I thought so. Equine is right. Why did I give him survival? I cannot remember why I've given him survival. There must be a reason. His movement is very fast. he's a very fast sailor. This sailor moves like a what do you know? He's a speed demon. Dear. Okay. All right. So I'm going to tone down his speed. I'm going to edit his speed. I'm going to make it a little bit slower. 60 feet is pretty brutal, Fred. Let's make it 40 feet. We'll save those changes. And sensors. He doesn't have any special sensors. That would be ridiculous. But for some reason I give him survival. And equine. And we'll save that. And that should have locked that little bit in. Right, now, last version, I'm going to try to get that mythic section out because, and I've got to take all the brackets out too, so that you guys don't have to do it yourself because you won't be able to very easily, I'd imagine. So I need to make sure I get it right for those of you on Patreon or not on Patreon and still going to download it because you're going to get it for free. Where is it? Mythics. Layers, no. What if I turn it on and then I just delete that whole section? Is that going to solve my problem? Well, let's save that and see if it worked. Sailor background, equine equals potential RPG for him, it being a cursed sailor. Could well be, yeah, why not? Yeah. View homebrew, let's see if this actually worked now. No, that's not what I was... How come I keep pressing the wrong button? Just go back here. Down the bottom, we're now on version... Oh, if you guys have noticed a few things here that look interesting or not interesting, or you're wondering what's going on with the treasure hoard golem, yeah, I made a treasure hoard golem, people, okay? Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Okay, so that got rid of the mythic actions, which I wanted to get rid of. That's good. So that means I should be able to go through and just edit out all of the brackets around the damage to solve the cleanup process to make sure it actually looks the way it's supposed to look. And if anybody notices anything that I might have missed out or stuffed up, let me know. but I feel like I've done most of it. Survival. Why is survival so bad? Survival's bad because he's got a 0, but he's not got a proficiency bonus added to it. Oh, there's a problem. How do I wind up with survival and yet not there? Let's go edit. So I probably have to add that in manually, don't I? I guess that's what's supposed to happen. Skills, survival, edit, base value. Why do I want survival on him? Does anybody remember? Hi, Derry. How's it going? Was there a reason why I gave him survival? It was probably because he was a sailor, sailing on the seas. That'll be what it is. Now I remember. Okay, all right. So let's put the base value in. Base value 7. Additional bonuses. Base value. What is base value? Set the monster's base value bonus. Typically, this is the skill ability modifier. Okay. Plus proficiency bonus. Okay, so it's 0 plus 7. Does not take into account any other bonuses. That's exactly what we want. So we've got our 7. Right, got it. James and Co. Right, so that should have fixed that little problem there. Let's go into here and sort out the brackets around things and damage. Because I didn't sort that out correctly, did I? So we've got the engulf, got that there. That's all right. Acid damage is already stipulated, so I don't need to fix any of that because I just copied and pasted. Wisdom, feet, da-da-da-da, 1 minute, da-da-da-da. Present, that's the scaring them off, the engulf. We've got our attacks. Bludgeoning, I need to get rid of the bracket around it. That's that one. And that one. That's bracket 1. Okay. And okay, that's bracket 1, and then next bracket, where is it? Here. That one. Bludgeoning. And that bracket there. Okay, good. That's fine. Now the bite, which is all good now, and we just need to get rid of the brackets around piercing. Oh, over here. Piercing. Survival. Yeah, reasonable as a sailor. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. I'd just forgotten why I'd put it there, that's all. I couldn't fathom, like, why have I done that? Oh. And then I think the swallow's already got everything built into it that we needed to have there. And then we've got the throw the building option, which I believe, I need to take the brackets out of that as well. Okay, so we have plenty of tools for him. He does everything he needs to do. Potentially, I could put in a little description of what this creature is, because that might be helpful. So maybe I should do that. Legendary actions are super easy to remember and use and understand, so that's great. Okay. Do I have a description of this? Yes, I do. I can cut and paste this little sucker straight into D&D Beyond. Copy from the Google Doc. So the good news is I've almost finished. How's that? I wonder if we can put a picture in there as well without getting into too much trouble. Okay, with a sort of hat with a blue bib. Is it B? Is it little b? Big B? Bib. And red ribbon. Red ribbon hanging from it. Where's a sailor outfit? Sailors. Well, I think that got it. Let's go down and save and then check it. I guess. I wonder if I can even find another picture of the Marshmallow Man to stick in there. Like, I mean, that would be the fun thing, right? It's like, let's go do that now. Homebrews, see my collection. Right, Stay Puft. Let's have a go. So that... so there's a bit of space under... I don't know why that space is there. Maybe I can remove it. But well, I think it's time to actually put an image to this. Should be able to find some on the internet. Yeah, Spirit Wolf, how much time I've got? I've got 15 minutes. So 5 minutes to find a decent image of the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. If you guys find a good one, just put the link into chat and I will drop it into this thing. And now you guys can use the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man from Ghostbusters in your game if you feel inclined. I don't know. I don't know, baby. Okay, let's have a look here. I'm looking myself for something, Puft. But if you find something, you let me know and I'll see if I can't use it. The original picture that I used was actually really cool. I don't know if I can find it again. Let's see, where are we? That's not much good to me if there's a little line beside it. Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Oh, he's so cute. Oh, look, he's so happy. Oh, that's nice. Let's just see if I can copy and paste it. I can. Okay. Dungeon Master prep folder. Building monsters. And I think we're going to call this Mr. Stay Puft. Dear. Okay, so let's see if that saves. Hopefully image isn't too big, otherwise I'll have to shrink it down. Scott Black, hello Scott. Yeah, sure, question. A question outside your presentation. How do we... Look, yeah, you could ask questions outside of my presentations always. How do we ask Crawford to rule a situation? Mind replacement by an intellect devourer. Would hold person work on a monster within the head of the humanoid? Well, that's a good question. I'm not entirely sure. I think hold person requires you to have line of sight to the creature, and it's inside the head of something else. But also the brain of the creature's gone when the intellect devourer goes inside, doesn't it? So it's that brain is gone. Yeah. Do I have the rules here? I don't know. Hold person. Does it require you to see? Most spells require you to have a line of sight. Call it Dave. Wing Walker 007. I love your name, by the way. How's 002 going? Hold person. Where are we? I have been distracted again. Let me see. Hold person, H, G, little that's a G, H, hold, getting closer. Okay, hold monster, hold person. Well, first off, it's not a person, so hold person won't work on an intellect devourer anyway because it's a monster. Choose a creature that you can see within range. Okay, so you have to see the damn thing. So hold monster or hold person. Again, choose a humanoid that you can see within range. See. And it's need to be a humanoid. So it'd have to be hold monster, and it's still not going to work because you can't actually see the thing because it's inside the body of something else that doesn't have a brain anymore. So I hate to say it, they're really screwed if an intellect devourer got inside them. Does that make sense? My thoughts exactly. However, hold person works on doppelgangers that have assumed a humanoid form, but the devourer is not assuming a form. That's right. It does work on a doppelganger because you can see the doppelganger even though it's changed its form. So yes, Scott Black, that I would adjudicate it that way. I don't know where this is leading. I suspect it has to do with a case of the players are unhappy with a call and you're trying to work out how to deal with that. So let me just drop in our Stay Puft Marshmallow Man picture, which is going to be really strange, people. I wonder what happens when people spot this thing. Because will it be public? I don't even know. I can't remember. I should just make it public, eh? Set it to public. So, avatar. We're in a large avatar. Size matters. Here we go. Let's find our building monsters. Those pictures. Oh, don't let them see them. No. Okay, stay puffed. Save changes. I don't know if it's going to work. It might. It might work and it might not. Okay. All right. So let's creations, edit, saved. Don't know. I'm just going to go here because I don't know. I'm probably going backwards rather than forwards. Oh, blimey. It worked. This monster cannot be shared with the community for the following reasons. Okay, good to know. The homebrew monster has text that includes extension links, so I have to take the extension links out. Really? Okay. Remember, private homebrew is automatically shared with other users in your campaign and does not need to be shared. Okay. So if I take the external links out of it, which will be these links here, you guys should be able to find this little sucker. You just had a game session and killed a player for just this situation. Player not happy. You are right. Yeah, look. I've done this with players, and they're not going to be happy when this happens for obvious reasons. Just because. Okay, so. Well, this is no good if nobody can actually access the sodding thing. So edit. I wonder if I can fix this problem fast. Oh, did I press the save button? I did. Okay, no, don't do that. External links. Let's find these external links and remove them. Save as link, no. Open link as tab, no. Copy link, no. Inspect, no. Come on, where's that option? Save as link, emoji, recognition, new window. Okay. Space. Restrain. Oh, no, didn't get it right. As in all things in DM's call. Yeah, exactly. Intellect Devourers are a horrible monster to have to contend with as a player. I do understand when players get frustrated when an Intellect Devour takes them down, because it's a pretty horrible monster, it really is. Okay, so that's that extension gone. Frightened. Okay, let's take that out. Frightened. Okay. For 1 minute. Okay, so that's that extension gone. There's a couple of extensions here, so we'll do the grappled. Okay, and then the restrained again. There we go. We're going to scroll down as grappled again. Sorry if I'm paying attention more to this. I just want people to be able to access it rather than it be something that only I can access. Restrained. In the past, when I've made monsters, I've never concerned myself with sharing with anybody else because I didn't really worry about it. I frankly didn't think that most people were that interested in what I was making anyway. Is blinded. Okay, let's just go there. Blinded and then restrained again. Come on. Okay. Oh, we've got prone. Oh, we've got a few more. Okay. Oh, well, let's just keep working on it. We'll get it done. Prone. Oops. Spelled it wrong. Prone. Dynamancer. Hello, Dynamancer. Dynamancer is a patron. Hello. How are you doing? Yeah, well, it's taken me it's a lot of work to Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, but I'm almost finished. I'm almost there. I even have a little picture for him now. I want to finish it so that people can just go and use it if they want to. And then proned. Prone. I think that is close to all of the extensions gone. No extensions in there. No extensions in there. No. Nothing there. Going up, going down. We should be extensionless now. Save it. You're good? Oh, cool. Bit late today. Sorry. No, that's all right. So yeah, I'll get this sorted out and I'll get it up onto Patreon. But you can probably find it on D&D Beyond now, if I've done the job right. If I've done what I was supposed to do, you should be able to actually find this thing, and anybody can use it. Putting it behind a paywall on D&D on Patreon would be silly because it's not my IP anyway, and this was just supposed to be a fun monster. You got to leave early. Oh, good night, mate. Good night. No problems. Okay, so let's just have a look and see if this thing is actually worked out. Well, it looks to me like you should be able to find it now. Why have I got layer actions up? I want the layer actions gone. Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Okay. Monster traits and the layer actions are still there. I don't understand. But as far as I can see, I can press the share with the community. I want to do that too. Well, let's get rid of the layer action stuff. If I delete it, maybe that'll solve it. I think I did that last time. That kind of did something, didn't it? Monster traits. If I take a space out of there, would that help? Okay, let's try that. And then I clicked it. Oh, legendary, keep that. So go with the layer actions because I don't want a layer for this creature, even though it's a legendary creature. And that may have fixed the problem. So this should be version 6. If any of you notice any problems with this little bugger, because I'm about to share it, you let me know and I'll fix it, okay? A sweets factory. No, it's wherever Gozer wants Mr. Puffy to go. So I'm not going to give him a lair. Let's go homebrew. It's there. It's a monster. It should work. It's shareable now. And it's finished. Look at that. I got it done on time. I've run out of time, but share with community. Okay. You guys are going to have a lot of fun with this if you decide to use it. Okay, remember, your private homebrew is in your homebrew collection, is automatically shared with users in your campaign. You do not need to share it with the entire community. Okay, only click the submit button if you want the entire DDD community to have access. Yes, I do. I want you to all have access. I will include all the fluff with the stat block when I get a chance. For those of you who are patrons, I'll put it into a document later on, along with the silly, goofy artwork. Okay? So for those of you who are like, will I get to use this? Feel free to fluff with it. I'm sure people will disagree with how I've built things, but I think that's done it. I think we have scored a try. Uh, ah, dear. Ah, that was a lot of work. Making a legendary monster is always difficult. Look, hopefully this was fun for you. It certainly was entertaining for me. I think you'll find that going forward, we are going to do some simpler monsters, if I can help it. I think that's the wisest thing to do. But anyway, I better get moving since I'm supposed to be going to another job. What's tomorrow? We're making a location. We're going to create a location. I'm going to talk about locations like I did before, but we're actually going to make a location. What location will it be? It might be a castle. It might be a tomb. It might be a castle. Might be a tomb. I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to say thank you to all of my patrons for helping support me so I can do these types of videos and live streams. Thank you to the people who watch my live streams. Thank you to everybody who's been watching my edited videos as well. Please look after yourself, your family, and your friends, no matter where you are in the world, and be nice to your neighbours. And hey, till next time, keep rolling those 20s.